let me explain what I did. I took your version E.
Yes.
So I tried to put my slides in using your same templates, so you kind of
Got
have
it.
the look and feel.
Got it.
So slides, I didn't muck around with any of your slides. And
Yeah, I see you didn't. You just added in. That's great.
yeah,
There's
so
some nice slides.
slide 8.
Yeah, very nice slides that you've put in. I like
Yeah.
them.
So some of the notes in there, I just left them is to let
Yes.
you read them, because obviously you may want to reduce it depending what you want to do,
Yes.
because
Yes.
you're going to
Yes.
talk about that, but there they are.
Yes. And
The
I see
words
what
that
you did. Yeah, what you did was to make it simpler for an audience that don't really know the background.
what I've done is I've essentially did away with Kinevin.
Uh-huh.
Because I am actually in some cases moving towards that, because in this case, what adaptive project management is really more about the distributed ethnography aspects,
Yes, correct.
as opposed to the complexity stuff, right? So there's a bit of complexity, obviously, about the complex adaptive system, but it's really about developing the maps that they can use, right?
Correct.
Find out
Correct. And
where
it
are the
also doesn't
bottlenecks.
restrict us. It doesn't restrict us if we want to build this thing further. Because if you make it a Kinevin thing, then you're caught.
Yeah, well, that's it. I kind of saw that and going like, well, we don't need to go there. So,
No, don't want to be tied in.
yeah, so I've done that. The next one is slide 9. Then of course this is just the why complex adaptive systems, and what are the things that order systems cannot address. Right?
Yes.
So you can read that, and I change some of the words around here. Again, it may be more than what you want, but you can tailor it.
No, that's great. I like the elephant example. Non-reducible holism.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So this one is, I actually used this one in my January presentation. Obviously, I didn't talk, because it was a change management group, I didn't talk a bit about theory of constraints. I just talked about constraints in general.
Yep.
But I kind of thought, well, this is nice, because we can talk about fixed and governing. We can talk about none and chaotic, and then we can also talk about enabling.
Yeah, exactly.
Constraints.
Exactly.
So opens a door for you. Then
Very
what
good.
I did for slide 11 is then I kind of built the bridge with project management constraints. So this is the connection with the TOC, which has basically been governing and fixed, and those are those human imposed bottlenecks.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So you can see that. I left this slide in. I didn't know whether you want to still use it or not. For
Now
me,
that you've got, yeah, it's a time thing, so I might just take it out.
yeah, I left it there because I know what you're going with this one here, but again, it's all about timing, as you say. This one, then I changed, because you had ordered. I just changed it to order system to be consistent.
I got it.
And where the constraints. I left that as is. I didn't change that. I didn't change that one either. I left that one it is, because I figured you wanted, you want to talk a bit about,
Yeah, I want to talk about the bottles. I don't want to. I want a visual image of water coming out through a constraint to explain what goes wrong in projects when it starts to get stuck.
Yeah. So I left that. I left that one for. I didn't change. I mean, this is all your stuff, as I know. Didn't muck with that. I didn't muck with that. This is where I started probably change things around.
Okay.
Where, this is another approach. You can talk, and then when you're dealing with constraints, what's there, I kind of said you can be reactive, so you can do a current reality, and you can go through that sort of thing. I just left basically as it is, because I also wanted to then say you can also do proactive, right? And then really talk about the early detection of things.
That's good. That's good. Proactive is good.
So now this really gets right into your face. You can actually put this on an app, give it to all your workers here, and this is how it kind of works. This is where you can this is what
Yes.
the dashboard actually looks like now. I
These
can
are very good.
to you. So you can see, you can actually muck around it. You can get bar charts, you can get triangular heat maps. You can get, of course, now these, which we like are the 2D contour maps. Okay. The other thing that what's really slick now is that when you click on one of those bars, the stories pop out very nicely.
Okay, so every bar has the stories underneath it.
Yes, so if you click on the bar, and I'll go into, I'll actually go live with you to show
Right.
you what I can do now.
Right.
And I can show you both how I actually built the collector.
And you're recording this on Zoom, so we have a recording afterwards.
Yes, yeah, I'll send you the recording. Okay. Now I left everything else as is. I didn't change that. Yeah, I didn't change anything there as well. So that was my contribution into the narrative slides. I started from here. I clicked into something called SenseMaker Platform.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what eventually clients would have if we wanted to give them. But right now, we wouldn't give it to these guys here.
No.
I just want to show you that how much the capabilities that we've got now. It's just actually really mind-blowing here. So this is what I produce called Adaptive Project Management.
Yep.
Right. This is the collector, what it looks like in design mode. So you can see all I have to do is I can actually just pluck whatever I want, choose it, bring it up, and then just move these things around. I can add text to them. Each of these has properties. I can actually say, oh, I want to make this thing visible. So as part of the design, I can say there, oh, I want you to look at that. Now we don't want that. I can click it off and make it invisible.
Yep.
Now, I actually designed it so that the instructions are all in one on page 2. This is what the instructions look like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like that. And you can see it's very simple to design.
Yes.
And then even when oh yeah, the other thing too is that what I'll show you later is the desktop version. The desktop version doesn't have the ability, which the mobile has, to do voice recordings and take photos.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's understandable.
So you can see how easy it is. We can create these things online. We can edit like we believe. And I've been doing that with the other webinars today. I've been
It's a bit like Google Forms. It's like Google Forms, isn't it?
Pretty well. I mean, if I want to add a new item, I just add a new item, blah, 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 and you just add a new item. Yeah, that's simple, right? So yeah, this is how you can do that. This is how I build the signifiers. And I can just decide, we'll put it there, whatever. I can also have each of these signifiers have properties. So in this case here, I want to make it visible. I want to allow not applicable. I can put error messages on it. I can make it required. I can put different features I can do on it. And then I just essentially go along and I just build this thing. So once I'm finished building, then I kind of go like, well, I want to see what it looks like. I just go back here. And then here's my choices. I can actually look at the collector right here. So let's do that. And this is the link that I sent you. This is it. Oh, sorry.
I thought it was a different one.
Yeah. So let me sort these things here. Title. There you go. Let me think. Okay. So, and this is what it looks like. Okay.
Yeah, looks like a Google form. Yep.
Yeah. Now, the thing here is that I'm testing this because very little upfront instructions. So this is no bloat on this thing at all.
Yep.
If you want to know how it works, you just click on instructions and there's all the instructions. How to read it. And it's kind of like you just have to read it once and you get it. You may have to come back later if you need to refreshing. But up front, I put in the purpose. What do you want to, why do we want to do this? We want to identify the bottlenecks. We want to raise any concerns that may be leading to unsafe workplace. And we also want a way to track the effectiveness. So if we make changes in the project, how are we doing? That's, getting more stories to feedback saying it's working well, it's not working well. So we need to track that as well. That's the feedback loop, right?
Gary, so this information you've got in here, does this now go into SenseMaker to be analyzed or plotted? Where does the displays come from this information that you capture?
This is what we call collector, right? This is what we give out to collector. This also is in journal format, which is really what we want for adaptive project management. We want people to make entries as things are happening on a daily basis.
Yes.
Right. So make it 24/7 real time as much as possible. Okay. So you look at that, you're kind of going, okay, this is working well. I go back to SenseMaker, then I'm going, let's look at the dashboard. Okay, so here's the dashboard. I have kind of built a dashboard, and dashboards, you can move, you can muck around, you can change them, whatever, moving things around. You can pick and choose what you want to see or not want to see. You can also save them. So if you go over here, you see, I've got some dashboards that are saved. Why would you want different dashboards? Because if you're a PM, you may want to have a dashboard that just looks like, I want to see all the entries that were made today, right?
Yes.
Your face. But you may want to have another dashboard because you're going to be meeting with the steering committee. And so you may want to present them different information over time. You can save these different versions. So let me go to dashboards here. I've got an adaptive project management. I chose to save. And so you can see I've moved things around a little. So I've actually even added a search because I can. I can actually click on short titles if you wanted to. The key one here is I want to know all the things that are happening, but maybe all the things that are danger right now, because I need maybe to respond to them. So let me, before I click on that, let me just show you how I decided to arrange them. Okay, and then you can decide as the person looking dashboard how you want to arrange, how you see your information. Okay.
Okay.
Let me go back to Framework Manager here for a sec, because one of the things I've got to get them to fix is that I want them to be able to show me, because I'm running 10, I always got to do that to bring it up. I need to get them to fix that, not a problem. But if I go to dashboard here, here's what I mean. Okay, so in this one here, I want to look at all the ones that are pending danger. I've only made 9 entries right now. So it's pending danger, and there's 3 of them. So if I click on here, you can see it automatically creates a filter down here. And then all these things that you see are just the 3. It filters all of the signifiers on these just these 3 things. So it gives you a quick view of what it is. Now, typically people would say, well, what are these 3 stories or narratives? This is what this little button over here called Explore does. If you click on this button here, the stories pop up. Okay, so in this one here, like, oh, this is an interesting one. Oh, more safety write-ups behind schedule. Okay. Who wrote this one? You may want to ask a question, because you can do this.
Yeah.
You can kind of go, okay, that makes sense. It was written by one of my employees in the project management role. It was written by one of the guys, one of the more senior guys I got. Yeah, and I see that he's a bit frustrated. He's uncertain about this, and he sees it as a pending danger. Okay, so that all the information is available. Here's one that I did that was on a positive side. Why we do safety inspections here. Oh, this is an interesting one. Contractor worker was taking a shortcut. I didn't write them up, but had a good talking to him with them. Okay. He apologized. So, okay, I documented here, but I think this was actually, this is a positive thing. I'm hopeful because I engaged him and we had a very respectful exchange. I'm buoyed by this. So hopefully we won't see this thing repeated, right? That's how this particular person, the storyteller, interpreted his narrative, his entry. Okay? And then the third one here's a situation where scaffolding was dropped off at the site. Don't know why, but we think another tradesman dropped it, blocked our path. So we had to walk around here. So, okay, so scaffolding in bad location here. So what's this all about here? Well, it was about an employee working the trades, kind of pissed, disappointed, bit frustrated over that. Okay, sounds like we need to look at that. But you know what he also said too, very interesting. It's not because the person dropping it was an asshole. It's probably more about procedures and processes. So maybe it's looking at, we need to establish a spot where materials are dropped off, not about the bad behavior. Because that person, if we dedicated a drop off,
those three things was a position that he put on the triangle
yes,
regarding the story.
Yes, right. So again, this is the thing about when we read the story here, let's not misinterpret it as saying, oh, some dumb tradesman made a mistake. No, I think the solution is we need to designate an area where any materials, scaffolding come, they all go there, so they don't block our.
So then we could also have a look and say, okay, let's look at processes, tools, and people skills, and let's see what's the issue around the organization on that.
Yeah. So this, and then if you had a whole pile of stories, you may find out that this dropping off material.
So I have an example.
Yes.
In a project, what I would be primarily interested in as the project manager is in which area is the problematic, which area or which department is becoming the bottleneck? Where is the work starting to become difficult?
This is where I need to find out whether I have this right. This is a generic one, so it's not specific. Yeah. So what I've done is this. I've created primary roles.
Okay.
So it may not be detailed enough, maybe I don't know, but you can see I've tried to figure, and I use the current reality tree idea that there could be an engineering issue, it could be a trades issue, it could be a provisioning issue, it could be the project management office, it could be something about support services. And then if you click on other, somebody can enter another primary role, which we missed, which is going to show up here.
Okay. Well, so the tool is there. It will just require a little bit of, depending on the project. That's where that first week comes in by design. And you would have to have an understanding of what tends to happen in projects at what stage, so that you can choose the proper signifiers.
Yeah, and then the other thing too I've got here is this, your association with the project. I've even put in for fun stories from the owner, an employee, consultant, labor contractor, supplier, and there could be other ones that, again, looking at you and others, maybe look at that and are there other kind of categories we want to add on?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. And then one of the feedback I got from when I tested, somebody says, yeah, anonymity is fine, but there are people that want to be identified. Why don't we give them the option so they can enter their name, so they can identify with it?
Yes.
Right. So yeah, that's true. So let's give them the option and you can enter it. If you don't, you leave it blank.
Right. Great stuff. Gary, this is excellent. So I can see what's there, and I've obviously generated information through at least 3 construction projects here in Australia. and understanding. So if it comes to it that, you know, we get the go ahead from a group of people in a construction, within a week, I'm pretty confident that we could put these things together. And the way that I would do it is I would use the intuition that I've built up on the 3 to start with at least the most critical 1 or 2 sides of the triangle, and then I'd leave the rest open, you know, for things that we not expecting. And then we, because really this would be a communication tool to help the management focus their efforts in managing a constraint that's busy developing.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is a generic thing. If people wanted to fine tune it, we certainly can on an organization, but then we kind of get commercial, right? So
Yes,
we'd have to engage them and start designing, but I think that we could easily show them how quickly something could be put together that would be just for you. Now, there's 9
yes.
stories in there, so
Yeah, and what I would do is I wouldn't show this to a potential project manager in the format that it is. I would make it much more recognizable for them first. So that it will contain the issues that they know are problematic through their years of experience, so that when they read it, you know, they see the issues, say, yep, this thing is useful. So it will become sort of a selling tool also.
So what I've done right now is that I've gone into the current reality tree and I've plucked out some of those things and
Oh,
I've
I see that.
created
Yeah.
entries in here.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah,
All right.
that's it.
So what we need to, what you can do is that, and John, if he's still engaged with us, start entering, making stories up there that you know people would be probably entering.
Yes.
Right. I mean,
Yes.
I picked one up there about, you know, confined spaces.
Yeah.
I made one up a bit about having to wait. Oh, I think I created one about an elevator, or maybe I didn't do that one here. I was going to create one about, we were going to do the job here, but the elevator wasn't built yet. So we couldn't do it. Said, oh, I did. Yes, I did do that. I did the one about engineers stuck in the office.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, here's the one. So how always a rush in engineering. So I did a couple of engineering guys. I did a positive one about stand-up meetings going like, oh, these are really good. Because
yes,
you're going out negative.
Yeah, that's very good. So
Yeah.
where are these ones? Where are they plotted at the moment?
Okay, so if you were to look at that, you can see the different plots. All right. Now, this is me just going into the collector and just moving the markers around based on what, if I wrote this story, how would I actually signify it?
Yeah.
You would do the same thing, right? Just create something, John would, and just move it around here, how you think somebody probably could signify the story.
In that case, there was no doubt that the engineering department was under pressure, that it was the bottleneck. So where would be the pattern of stories, on which triangle would it show up that the constraint is in engineering? Because you've got the examples there.
Well, one thing which you can do is that if we had enough stories, we could go in, if this was the dashboard, you can go and filter in all the stories about engineering.
Yes.
Right. And then you can also.
So primary work role. Okay, so the story is about. So somewhere there's one that says this story is about engineering or design or something.
Yeah. And we can also go to the word map, and where the word engineering is, we click on the word engineering, and it all pops up. We can go here too, Hank, and we can go like, give me all the stories where people were frustrated and angry. And see what.
So that word map, how does it work? So it looks at all the stories and it checks how many words or concept nouns come up from the different stories.
Yeah, that's all it does. So it's useful, but it's not that useful if we get a lot of stories that are voice recordings and photos.
Yeah.
Right? We won't get that. Yeah. But if you get a lot of text entered, yes, it's helpful. So
very.
again, it's just one more way of us filtering. We may want
very
to
good.
filter in by, by diet here. So give me all the stories where failure took place,
Yeah,
success took place. Right? There's one here which I'm not sure about, is T5. I mean,
and
I can see a project manager or maybe an owner filling this one in. I don't know if a frontline worker would even.
no, I think the front line, the issue would be projects would be cost, quality, which is the meeting the requirements.
Right here. Yeah, we got it
Yeah,
here. They would
that's
do that
right.
one.
That's
I
right.
did this one because I stuck owner in there. I figured the owner would be worried about these things. But if we find that, we don't want owner, because maybe owner is not going to share stories, or
Yeah, I think.
then we
Yeah, I think.
delete it.
I think the first thing for the owner is the project going to make, well, the baseline concern is it going to make money, and then after that they start thinking, well, what about reputational concerns? But they're more concerned with the project making money first of all. They're very survivalist.
And that's why we have this one here. Tell me all the stories where profit first were really important. And that could be
Yeah.
both positive and negative stories.
Very
Because
good.
on the other side is safety. So we put the
Oh, this is lovely. You've
Yeah.
got some lovely ones here, Gary.
Yeah. So I mean, if we right now feel that we don't want owners, so we don't think owners are going to really involve, we can actually right now delete it.
I would delete them for now. Yeah.
So let me show you how we do that. So it's very simple. We just go into here, we go into the designer. Here. Okay, and then when we see here, we just delete it. Gone. All right, so that's gone. And then I would also say we really don't care about T5. Did I went too far? T5, sorry, T5. But instead of deleting it, which I can do, we can just say, don't make it visible.
Perfect.
Right? So now I apply that, I save that. Okay, so let's have a look to see the changes. And then you can see T5 is gone. Right? So T5 is gone.
This is great. Yep.
And then also nothing about the owner. The owner's gone.
Perfect.
All right, so that's simple. And that's why, this is why just this stuff rocks right now.
Very good. Very good. I can see that we got something, and we've got something that we can adjust and make commercial.
Yeah, and like I said, if you want to, you've got the link. If you want to send a link out, we can tell people, this is not perfect. It's a demo. You can't break it here. Play with it, see if it makes sense with you, and then we'll come back later and we'll get some feedback from you. Do you think this would help?
So with that link, Gary, so they can enter information.
Yep.
Can they plot it?
No, that's us. That's the dashboard.
Yeah. So in entering information, it doesn't do very much for them at the moment.
That's why we said that's why I say, okay, you got to talk to these guys. If you want, we can come back later and show you the maps that you created, because I don't know who's all going to enter stories, right? We don't know, but we can come back and show you what you would see. That closes the loop, right?
That's very good. So I can say, here's the link to enter your stories, and we'd be very happy to show you what it displays and what information you can get out.
Yeah, real-time stuff, because in the PowerPoint slides, you've got, this is what the dashboard looks like, static, right? But if you want to see it live, we can do live. We come back and do a live.
So Gary, so let's say 3 people start using that link and type in information, then it's going to overlap. 3 different companies.
Yes. So this is a demo. Right. So what we're getting is we're getting a conglomerate, not just your company.
Yeah.
This is a conglomerate. Now, all this is a test. If you think there's some value for this, though,
Okay,
then
I've got a different.
print one for
I-
you.
I have a different idea. What I would say to them is that if you would like to try it out, contact us and we can let you play with it, enter your data, and then we'll show you what we can get out of it.
Okay, because then that's the point where we start talking a bit about our brochure, right? And we just
Yes,
said, this is
exactly.
what we would do,
Exactly.
right? So yeah,
Exactly.
so if anything, this is the leave behind with them. You know, we could do this 1 week, we can do this in 8 weeks, we can carry on longer. But you know, what we're doing, what you're doing today in that session is just really showing how you can get this real-time map to show where your bottlenecks are coming.
Perfect. Go to the next page, Gary.
Okay, and this on what, the document?
Yeah, that one.
This one here, okay.
Yeah, that one there. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, you talked about sitting down and doing a current reality with them.
That's right.
Well,
That's right.
which is again fits because that's kind of like reactive.
Correct. Correct. So my talk to them will be about what we've actually done, the case study with the incredible results, the
Mhm.
fact that it's reactive, the fact that it happened, that we did it because there was a big problem, but now we've got a method to prevent this big problem or to be
Yeah.
able to act on it early.
Yes, yeah. This is the see, attend, act stuff. we're
Yeah.
talking about here, right? And then that kind of allows us to say, here's how we would roll it out.
Perfect. Gary, that particular document that you're showing me there, could you just send that to? I've got a few versions. I'm not sure.
Oh,
I
really? Oh,
probably,
you do? Okay.
I probably do have that version somewhere, but it would be nice if you just
Is that
send
on?
it to me again.
Well, let me just see. What have we got on Slack right now? Do we have different versions on Slack? Let's see. Oh, there's no versions on Slack. How about that?
No.
Okay, so let me just, it's on my desktop. So let me just drag that right now here.
And I see you also love Apple. My wife tried for 3 months because the little boy threw water or juice on the plane out over that brand new $2,000 Apple laptop and it fried. And for 3 months she tried to work on a PC and she hated every second of it. So she's back on an Apple.
So that's what I just shared with you on screen. Okay.
That's great. That's excellent. Gary, that's great. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start working this weekend and I'm going to bring in some of the ideas from Safety Differently, you know, the flow of information, work is imagined, and thank you very much for your slides. It's excellent. I think so Australian Institute of Project Management wants me to use their template, but what I will do is I will just make sure that there's on the images that there's a strat flow that goes with it.
Yeah.
Just to make sure, but I suppose it's not unusual. They've got a nice slide format. It's going to go on their website permanently.
Okay.
So it's a nice advert, I think, going forward. So that's brilliant.
That's cool. Well, this is a nice, hopefully good foot in the door that you can get in here and you can get excited. All we need is one company. 3 would be awesome. That want to really use it, because then you start small, then it just mushrooms from there.
And you know, I've learned now over the years as to it's that thing, simple and make people feel that they understand the principle, so they're confident about it. Not too technical, but not too watered down. And so yeah, so I think I've had lots of time to practice that with construction companies over the last 2-3 years. So I'm excited. I'm going to have to work flat out this weekend, but I think it will be good.
Okay. Yep. So I'll just be in the background for you.
Thank you
And
very much. So again, as I say, we're going to do that run up front
mhm,
just to see how it goes. So I will make sure we record that one, and then I will send it through to you just for your comments and just check technically, and probably more important, what to say less on and what to focus more on.
yeah, okay, let's do that. And then, yeah, so that you're
Yeah,
being mind
this is great, Gary. I mean, 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, when we started with this idea, I mean, the dashboard was not nearly as customizable as you've got it now. So
No. And there's still, I mean, I still have little things that need fixing, as you saw. And I'm finding that the cognitive edge support people, I've got a real kind of good relationship with them. And anytime I ask them to do something, if it's not way out wacky, then yeah, they do it overnight. So very happy
that's
about that.
brilliant.
Yeah.
So we've got the theory, we've got the experience, and now we got the tools. So that's brilliant.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you so much, Gary. Have a great
Yeah.
evening. Yes.
I will record this and I'll post it up on YouTube so it's quick. And then I'll send you the unlisted YouTube thing. All right.
Perfect.
Sounds
Thank you,
good.
Gary.
Okay. You take
Much
care then.
appreciated. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.